Max Galactic was born under a violet sky that never darkened. On Kepler 452b, night didn't fall the way it did on Earth. Instead, the stars pulsed through the atmosphere like distant heartbeats, glowing softly through layers of luminous clouds. That was where Max learned to listen to the rhythm of the universe itself. He wasn't like the others. While most of his people focused on science and quiet exploration, Max was drawn to movement, to risk, to the unknown edges of space where maps faded into guesswork. By the time he reached adulthood, he had already rebuilt an abandoned starcraft and named it the Horizon Breaker. And then he left. The first encounter. Max's first real mission wasn't planned. It began when he intercepted a distress signal near the shattered rings of a dead planet. The transmission was distorted, pulsing with urgency, and something else. Energy signatures Max had never seen before. When he arrived, he found a battle already in progress. Ships, dozens of them, circled a floating fragment of crystal glowing with a dangerous, deep blue light. Pluton, the rarest energy source in the known universe. And the one thing powerful enough to start a war that could burn through galaxies. Max dove into the chaos, weaving through laser fire. That's when he saw him, a towering figure clinging to the hull of a drifting cruiser, ripping through metal with raw strength. His body was built like a warrior, but his head, tentacled, shifting, moved with eerie precision. Q-bar! The figure roared, smashing through the hull and dragging out a weapon core before leaping into open space. Max didn't hesitate. He angled his ship, opening a side hatch. Get in if you want to live. Q-bar glanced once, then launched himself across the void, landing hard inside the ship. Fast pilot, Q-bar grunted. Smart passenger, Max replied. The crew grows. They didn't escape alone. As Max maneuvered out of the battlefield, a streak of silver flashed across his console. Something small, fast, and impossible to track. Then it appeared on his shoulder. A creature no bigger than his forearm, fur shimmering like stardust, eyes bright with intelligence. Yimi, it chirped, tapping the screen. The navigation system recalibrated instantly. Max blinked. You just fixed my route? Yimi flicked its tail proudly. Before Max could respond, a sharp clang echoed from the cargo bay. They weren't alone. Max grabbed a pulse blaster and moved carefully toward the sound. The door slid open, and a blade of pure light stopped inches from his throat. Don't move, said a calm voice. The figure stepped forward, sleek, armored, eyes glowing faintly. In her hand, a laser dagger hummed with controlled energy. Mavi, she said, you flew straight into a war zone. Either you're reckless, or you're important. Max smirked slightly, working on being both. The truth about Pluton. Once they were clear of danger, the four gathered in the ship's command chamber. Q-bar crossed his arms. That crystal, it wasn't just energy. Mavi nodded. Pluton isn't a fuel source. Not really. It's a catalyst. It amplifies whatever it's connected to. Max leaned forward. Weapons? Worse, she said. It can amplify intent. Silence filled the room. Yimi chirped softly, projecting a holographic map into the air. Systems lighting up one by one. War was spreading. Different factions were hunting Pluton fragments, each believing they could control it. But if even one of them succeeded, it won't just power a weapon, Max said quietly. It'll turn someone's will into reality. Q-bar's tentacles shifted. Then we don't let them have it. The mission begins. That's how they became a crew. Not by choice, but by necessity. Max, the pilot who could outrun collapsing stars. Q-bar, whose strength could tear through ships like paper. Mavi, precise and deadly, her laser dagger never missing its mark. And Yimi, faster than thought itself, able to hack, scout, and outmaneuver anything in existence. Together, they traveled from system to system, tracking Pluton fragments before warlords and empires could claim them. They sabotaged fleets, outsmarted entire armies, stole energy cores from heavily guarded fortresses. And sometimes, they failed. But every mission taught them something. Trust, timing, sacrifice, the edge of war. Their greatest challenge came at the edge of a collapsing galaxy. A warlord known only as Varen had gathered enough Pluton to reshape entire star systems. His fleet blocked out the stars, his flagship powered by a core brighter than a supernova. "This is it," Mavi said. "If he activates that core, he rewrites reality," Max finished. Kubar cracked his knuckles. "Then we stop him." Yimi flickered across the control panel, already mapping weaknesses. Max looked at his crew. Not strangers anymore. Family. "All right," he said, gripping the controls. "Let's save the universe." The legacy of Max Galactic. The battle that followed would be told for generations. A single ship against an empire. A crew that refused to back down. And a pilot who believed that the future wasn't something you waited for. It was something you fought for. Because out there, beyond stars and time, one truth remained. As long as Max Galactic and his crew were flying, the universe still had a chance.